Hi Taurus, and welcome to your May 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. I can't believe it's May already. We are almost halfway through this calendar year of 2022. How time does pass. I'm very excited to be talking to you this month because it's going to be a game changer for you. We have Taurus season happening. Happy birthday to those of you aging up. We have a solar eclipse that just happened on April 30th in your sign, and we have a lunar eclipse happening May 15th or 16th, depending on your time zone. And yes, we have Uranus transiting your sign. We have the North Node in your sign. We have a stellium happening in your sign this month. So it's a game-changing, likely a very materially transformative month for you. So let's talk all about it. Taurus, as usual, I will be providing you some intuitive messages, followed by a week-to-week tarot forecast and an extended reading on Patreon. That will be linked below. If you're new and you enjoy the reading, be sure to hit the subscribe button and thumbs up this video to get it out there. So yeah, May 2022 for a Taurus person, there are some things that can't be ignored any longer. There are callings, there are simplifications, there are modifications that are needed during this time. Okay, having Uranus in the North Node in your sign means that you could have it a lot easier. You could delegate a lot of what you're dealing with. You could automate a lot of what you're dealing with. A lot of the conscious brain stuff for a Taurus person, I'll give you guys a little life secret here. You don't have to do any of it. Okay? Well, not maybe any of it is a strong word or a strong terminology. But there's a lot of stuff that you're putting on your plate that you don't have to deal with. And there's a lot of innovation that you could spur in your life to have a very different experience. So if you wanted to change your life, it would be easier than usual right now. If you wanted to simplify something, if you wanted to invent something, there's kind of an inventor's vibe here with North Node in Uranus and Sun in Taurus, solar eclipse that just happened in Taurus at 10 degrees on April 30th. We're out of all planets direct now, so now we can reface or reform some of the long-running momentum in a more direct way to really increase prosperity and to increase ease in your life. Increase has the word ease in it, doesn't it? Increase. So in order to get more in life, we actually have to have an easier experience. In order to, a lot of people think to have more or to increase or to expand or to augment, it requires taking on more, working harder, having a more difficult experience. But actually it's the opposite. That's a sort of fatal error in judgment when people think I've got to work harder. I've got to have a more difficult experience to do better in life. Increase, ease. You've got to ease something up here. And it's likely that there's just an archaic way of viewing things or an archaic sense of how things work for Taurus people. And the North Node, Uranus, Sun in your sign, as well as Mercury coming as well, which will be retrograding in your sign later into Gemini season, I believe. You're going to have a lot of proof of anything that's outdated, outworn, or too conventional to be good for you at this point in time. So over-conventional ways of thinking, reinventing the wheel on anything. You're going to see that if that is in your experience. And there's going to be a subsequent open door to ease and to a lot of you need to outsource, a lot of you need to delegate, a lot of you need to hire if you're a business owner, a lot of you need to also see what's happening in your own mind that is taking up too much RAM or taking up too much storage space meaninglessly or without need. So thinking about the same thing over and over again, things that you can't change, for example, thinking about worst case scenarios that are not even in your proximity, like many hours during the day. You see how you're kind of devoting attention or focusing on things which are not even a part of your experience or things which are not even here and now. So there, any type of focus or obsession with the past, with lack of closure, with also worst case scenarios or bad turnouts that have not happened, catastrophizing, anything like that really has to be placed aside now, because you could be very easily an innovator or a increaser, okay, or somebody who expands the horizons of other people. Very good for Taurus right now to consider like a teaching position, to consider mentorship, professorship, or some type of maybe more successful contacts as well. Maybe it's about for you networking and starting to meet more with people in your field or people in the places that you're seeking to be in, so that you can understand their headspaces, or so that you can understand also how they've done it. So like maybe reading biographies or reading about people's life experiences who found themselves in the place that you're hoping to be. There's something quite ambitious with this too. North Node and Uranus in your sign means that there's an ego connection to ambition, or an ego connection to innovation or creation. And that can be problematic with the North Node. So that can become, over amplified or over energized to an extent. So that's why, again, it's good to actually get things off of your plate, or it's good to make sure that you're not over energizing or having any type of manic energy output right now, because that will sabotage, or that will cause the entire structure that you have in your life to crack or become disembodied in some way, because it's over energized or it's put too much pressure upon. So anything you can do to divest pressure, to spend less, to save more, to make sure you're not unnecessarily taking on commitments or trials or even clients or work. I feel that there's a false illusion for most people right now that hinges on, if I clock more hours, if I take on more clients, if I boost my productivity, I'm going to get more. I don't know. We have a weird inflationary crisis, so a lot of that could be in vain right now. A lot of that might not have ever made sense in the future as we look back on it. A lot of that might be kind of like a meaningless energy production, kind of feeding other people. So we have to make sure that we're not in that place. So really divesting ourselves from meaningless subservient roles, or a sort of dogmatic viewpoint around the idea of productivity or wages or earnings. That's going to be really helpful for you. And clearing up as much time as you can to just digest or process your experience and purify that, heal up this third eye, heal up this aura. That's my best suggestion for you this month, Taurus. I'm seeing some nice birthday celebrations for you all as well. You might get unexpected gifts, all right, with Uranus and the North Node in your sign. You might get assets as gifts. You might get experiences that become assets for you. There's something about you coming into ownership of new assets or new energetic producers of some sort. So whatever that means to you, it's very benevolent, it seems. Okay, let's talk about your week to week. Week number 1 in May, Taurus, you've got the World rooted down by the High Priestess reversed. The World has been an archetype I've been seeing a lot lately. We're done with some stuff, okay? We don't have to keep producing into oblivion. We have actually cornered the market on some things, and we have to understand that if we are there. So one of the difficulties in the Taurus archetype, every sign has a difficulty and, like an ease, and in certain things they are better at, certain things they struggle more with. And with Taurus can sometimes not understand that it's finished something. It can also sometimes be too quick also to walk away, or cannot sometimes understand closure, because your opposite sign is Scorpio, which rules death, endings, and completion. So Taurus inherently has a karma related to endings and completions. You have some type of ending or completion in the first week of May. Really pay attention to jobs, businesses, monetary contracts, productivity lines of energy, and if they really need to keep on. Okay, it's a great time to redo a contract. It's a great time to step into new careers for some of you. For some of you also, it's a wonderful time to step away from something, or to even like resignations. Now, not for all of you is that what you need to do. Don't think that, just because I'm sitting here looking at tarot for you that, it's time to necessarily resign or quit. But I feel that energy for you. There's a resignation from something, and it might not be your job. It might be like being everyone's therapist, being everyone's guidance counselor, and it's not even like your job, but like everybody's now relying. You might have to resign, because I'm seeing like 6 of Pentacles, even though that's not here in your reading. You've got the 7, 8, and 10, and 5 of Pentacles, so practically all the other Pentacle cards are here. But I'm seeing you being on that lower side of Six of Pentacles and having to resign from that. So having to service another person, having to be too subservient to another, and wanting to finish up with that. That's ending. And also I think the High Priestess reversed, like lack of meaningful connection to what you're doing. Okay, so doing things just for that paycheck, doing things just to pay the bills. I know that this reading is highly focused on like monetary stuff, but it makes sense because it's Taurus season, it's North Node, it's Uranus in your sign, and an eclipse, and Taurus rules over the monetary, economic, especially money that we work for, income things. So try to think about what a more connective career might look like, or what a more connective way to be in your work. Like if you love your business, or if you love your job, but you're just not really feeling it lately. It's a common place to be for everyone. How can it become more connective to you? What can you do to change it? We have more wiggle room here than we think, okay? A lot of us are boxing ourselves in unnecessarily, and a lot of us have a lot more space to make things work for us or to make things better. So it's great to understand what we can do to get that, I don't know, enjoyment factor out of what we do for a living, the enjoyment factor out of also being done and knowing that something is, an ending is on the horizon. That can actually be joyous, okay? That can be fulfilling, all right? For some people, it can be very melancholic and sad as well. But a lot of us just need that new beginning. And the High Priestess reversed might not really be feeling it. Like, it's like, I don't want to start over. I don't want to do something new. I just want the consistency. But whatever you can do to enjoy knowing that a new beginning is coming, that will be helpful. Week 2, you've got the 10 of Pentacles rooted down by King of Wands. And yes, I think that there's a need to feel desire and to feel creativity in the context of how you're building wealth in your life, right? 10 of Pentacles is about wealth built. It's about inheritance. It's about having done it, having arrived. So you might have arrived, Taurus. You might like look at what you've got now, or what you've been creating, and realize, wow, I've done it. I've completely figured out the formula. And the only key now is to make that formula even more enjoyable, creative, and perfect for you. Okay, King of Wands is about creative flair. It's about creative mastery. It's about projects that are not just enjoyed, like passion projects and things that you are actually really making progress with. A lot of Taurus don't think that they can merge that with their wealth. A lot of them feel like they've got to work their 9 to 5 and then do their passion projects on the side. And some of us, yes, still have to do that. But this period of time, the second week of May, is going to start showing you with this innovative flair that we have in your sign at Uranus in the North Node, how you can combine these, or how you can finally turn your passions into prosperity, okay? That's what the second week is about for you, is turning passions into prosperity. Week number 3, you've got the 8 of Pentacles reversed, you're down by 5 of Pentacles. And right when you figure that out in the second week, it starts to illuminate or show even more how you're maybe working too hard in what isn't a passion, and then also how you might be overspending or consuming too much as well, to where you're reliant on the lack of passion, or you're reliant on the things that you're not wanting as much anymore. And the third week is, as we hit Gemini season there, is going to really communicate like where the overworking is happening, or where the burnout could even be possible. And then also where there's like a poverty consciousness, or where there is a fear of lack. And those two things don't have anything to do with what you're actually doing, as much as they have to do with mindsets. Okay, so of course, action can be seen here too, like the actual overworking or the actual choices that come as a result of poverty consciousness. But beneath those actions are more of a impulse, or more of a need to see a certain archetype come to life. So feeling as if our frugality is channeling, or feeling as if our hard work is seen by other people, being seen as the person who overworks, being seen as the person who saves or is frugal, becomes a certain illusion in a way to our own feeling of safety, all right? And it's not safe. This overworking, overproductive / like impoverished mindset is very oriented towards lack, and it's going to draw that in, or it's going to invite in more kinds of lack. So it's good to have that switch during that time. And then in the fourth week, with a Seven of Pentacles rooted down by the Hermit, there's going to be a time of taking stock and a time of just being by yourself. So you can see like second week energy versus third week energy. That's like two very distinct ways of interacting with the ideas of wealth or the ideas of well-being. And which one do we want? We definitely want that second week energy, Ten of Pentacles and the King of Wands, as opposed to Eight of Pentacles reversed and Five of Pentacles. If you can see, it's like very juxtaposed, very opposite ways of thinking about how we generate security and well-being in our lives. And that creative, very generational idea of it in the second week is the way to go. And, again, in the fourth week, it's just going to be like seeing them both, or seeing both of these different ways that you can find security. Eight of Pentacles reversed and Five of Pentacles can generate security because you're working so hard and you're living on so little, perhaps, or you're restrictive or constrained in what that overworking produces. And there can be security in that, but it's not as wholesome. So again, in the fourth week, you want to take time to see what all you've accumulated and what all you've grown. And you want to have some time alone to process that and see, okay, what do I want to keep of this? It just looks like such a wonderful month, Taurus, of understanding what you want based on what you have obtained, and then making a pretty solid decision or judgment about how we move forward with that, and how much also with the Hermit and the High Priestess reversed, what the spiritual significance or the emotional significance of what we now have, or the choices that we've now made, or the relationships that we've chosen and also not chosen to continue, and what it all means for the general alchemy of our lives. So let's talk more about that in your extended reading. I will talk about how this alchemy or how this result can be processed, or like what signs or synchronicities you can kind of observe to know, like, yeah, I'm definitely in that Ten of Pentacles, King of Wands mode, or I'm in that Eight of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles mode. And we'll get a central theme and supporting themes. Definitely come check out the Patreon page. I do weekly tea chats over there, and I think they're really a great content. So if you've been considering it, I definitely think it's valuable. It will be linked in the center of your screen and below. And happy birthday again to those of you aging up. I think it's going to be a wonderful time of self-discovery for you in May. Much love, Taurus. Bye.